Hello? Can you hear me now? Asking Ashley? Streampunk Sheep? Osama? Yay! Okay, I figured it out. The error was, I don't know, I just reset it and started working. Well, thank you everyone for letting me know very quickly that I am off the rails. We can hear you, says Asking Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. And then Streampunk Sheep says, good, you good, you good. Osama says, yes, yes. Working now, says Cowboy Goose as well. So I was just saying, well, that's funny because in the beginning I was just like, oh, can I actually hear it? Is everything working? And I was like, oh, it's working. And then I find out that nothing is actually working. Okay, so I was saying that yet again, Ezra is about to start another project, another game. And you'll be like, Ezra, please finish a game. And it's true. It's true. I should finish a game, and I will. But once again, I am a content creator, right? So I had this idea for a video. I envisioned a title and thumbnail that looks something like two different versions of the same game. And then it's like basically the comparison of using free asset versus this paid asset. Because I kind of want to know. I mean, I'm always struggling because I'm always looking for unique art that I'm drawing myself. And I love pixel art and all, but I do get questions every now and then being like, hey, what do you think about using asset? And guess what? I mean, I did a little bit of research and there's plenty of games out there that's just using assets, pre-made assets, and started out fine and then slowly upgraded it. So I want to explore that angle because I've never done it. Right? I don't want to like just go out and be like, hey, that's not a way you want to do at all without even trying it. So that's where I'm at. And while I was like, okay, well, I want to make something like Vampire Survivor, something simple for this experiment. I didn't want to spend like weeks and weeks coding, and something that I still think is kind of fun. So I was like, okay, I want something like roguelike, because like I like roguelike game like Hades, Enter the Gungeon, and stuff like that. But I don't want it to be just straight up bullet hell or like fighting. I still want it to be actiony because I don't think I've ever made actiony game since I started it. It's always like some sort of puzzle, turn-based and stuff like that. So that's something that I need to try out. So that's where I'm at. Asking Ashley says, ooh, sounds like a nice idea to see a difference between free and paid. Yeah, exactly. Like, is it worth paying? Is it not worth paying? What's the trade-off and all that stuff? And I also want to know if I can just make it work with not using my own asset for a little bit and see what happens. Streampunk says, the game is the friends we make along the way. Exactly. You are all the friends that we make along the way. Dreampunk also says, I'm so afraid of using someone's asset because I heard some people tend to just steal and post it as theirs in game asset market. Oh, really? Well, I mean, I think one way to prevent the stealing thing is probably to go for popular ones only. Yes, you do need to like dig through to find the ones that works for your thing. But I think I'm going to make sure two things. The two things that I'm focusing on when I'm stealing, when I'm getting the assets, I'm going to try to make it so that all the assets I take are kind of like synergetic, like they work together. It doesn't look like pieced together if I can help it, and see how difficult it is. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's the main thing. Stylistically similar enough that it can work. But yeah, so I was doing some game design where it's like, okay, well, it's like roguelike dungeon crawler. But instead of it being like fighting, it's about mining. But of course, I'm still thinking that it's going to be a combat. But then conceptually, you're not fighting enemies to kill them, but you're mining them. So like you would have golems and stuff like that. Where Void says first, claimed. Yes, you're officially a first, even though you weren't. Technically, you're a first. Hi, Void. Hi, Kado. Osama says, nice idea. Thanks. So we're going to do something. And there's actually a really interesting design point in terms of game development when I'm doing this. Because I'm making a game where I'm planning on replacing the assets between the two versions, right? The free version, paid version, and later my own version. I might have to make sure I build the game in ways that I can easily change the graphics. Hopefully in dump, like as a collective, instead of having to, piecewise change one at a time. That might be really tough. But we'll see how that goes. I don't actually know what that would look like for myself, but that's something I'm thinking about. So yeah, never made a dungeon crawler, but we'll figure it out. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't really do most of the work because when I was called to do Blackthorn Prod's 10 Godot developers make games together without communicating, which got canceled, by the way. I had to participate in it, and that was kind of like a roguelike dungeon crawler. So yeah. Voice says, I'm starting commute. Why must I endure this pain? I feel like I always stream just in time for Void to be commuting. Streampunk says, market the game as collage roguelike genre. Yes. I think I could do that too. That sounds like a great idea. But yeah, hopefully a story will come arise where I can make a video being like free versus paid, and then have some meaningful philosophy at the end. It's like, maybe truly the asset that we made or asset that we use are the friends we made along the way, or whatever. Doesn't matter, really. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. Pixel Planet Generator. Oh, that's a cool concept. Generator is an interesting asset idea. Okay, so first thing first, this mining dungeon crawler, is it a platformer or top-down, right? So I think that's what we want to know first. So we have some brain dump here, and then we're going to start locking in some ideas here. Probably some audience feel, a game experience, I think. And then some mechanics. More specifically, I think probably like, I don't know if this would be considered design. Yeah, I think mechanic will be the design. And then we can have visual here. And I think the idea, some of the things I need to think about and figure out is, let's see, let me get these bullet pointed. Boop. But yeah. I think top-down is probably good because top-down, I don't know what category it would be. Game is a top-down, since the goal of action down. Oh, I guess I should do the audience experience first. People who enjoy skill-based top-down combat like Hades and Enter the Gungeon, who wants to Gungeon. Well, I think that's kind of sufficient enough. So I want to capture somebody who likes this like fast-paced action game where you have to dodge and skill and upgrade and plan your run, right? Gungeon and love to plan a run for either speed or power fantasy. I guess satisfaction, if that's a full sentence. Okay, bye Void. I'll see you later. Stringpunk says, market the game. Oh no, I already read that. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so game experience, I think mostly, I mean, a lot of the brain dump kind of does fall into that. I'm going to have a summary later, but basically, start from a base hub where you can upgrade, or you can upgrade to add more tools for the run. During every run should feel probabilistic. Okay, if I know how to spell probabilistic. Probabilistic, that doesn't sound right. Okay, maybe should feel random and unique while being able to go for a build. Okay. Combat should feel dynamic and players should feel like they have a full control over their character's movement. If you die, fail, it feels mostly like a skill issue than a RNG issue, right? I think that's the main goal here. Maximum satisfaction of going towards a synergetic build. Combos. People love that. Celine says, "Sup, Ezra? What's going on?" Yet another project. That's what's going on, Celine. I was explaining to the chat earlier that no, this is not going to be a long project, a quick one. I think I mentioned this earlier, Celine. But basically, I want to make a video on free asset versus paid asset. And I was thinking about a game idea that can be like not too serious, but just like as a quick vertical slice can be fun and interesting, where it's like pretty repeatable. And I like roguelike, and I haven't made action game before, so I'm making a roguelike mining game where basically it's like Enter the Gungeon and a Hades. Yeah, like Enter the Gungeon and Hades, where it's kind of action-y, but then it's not like just fighting random enemies, but it's about mining. So I think there could be some sort of like base building, maybe. I don't know. Like, because you go down to mine, kind of like Stardew Valley, I suppose. And what do you do with the mined material? I mean, is your goal to just keep going down? Maybe that is it. Maybe you're looking for the legendary mithril that's at the bottom of the cave. You keep going down. But yeah. Kadov says, is this gonna be a commercial game? Probably. I mean, I think the comparison of success would be either how popular the game gets, click-through rate, or like, you know, how much money they make. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna release a two identical game with two separate assets and you know, compare it. Or I guess otherwise I'm going to have to just get some people, panel of people to send them and see what they rate each game as. That's going to be the hardest part. I mean, I don't think it's going to be serious, like that serious to make it like exactly same comparison, but there needs to be a pivot of like, okay, what was more successful, you know? I mean, I could talk about it just in the base of like my experience of building it as a success story. It's like, oh, it was a lot harder to do free asset, but it was free versus like, oh, paid asset, it was paid. But I think like the having actual number probably would make it even more interesting of a comparison. So I don't know, Kado. I'm all ears for any kind of suggestion. Okay. Sandbox says, I'm currently tearing my hair out because I can't understand this material uploading stuff on Clip Studio. Yeah, Clip Studio, when you import things, they're just material. And material is like, is not technically rasterized. So if you want to work like you want to edit stuff in the material, like once you import the object into Clip Studio, you got to rasterize it, which is to make it like part of the drawing instead of an object that is unblendable. Hi, Glover, Der Glover, Dare Glover. Hello. But yeah, okay. So a few things are here. I think I do want to kind of focus on what the combat would look like. I think I really want pickaxe combat, whatever that means, because the idea is you are mining these levels, and some things are alive, some things are just like earth moving. I think there's like every time you break something off the wall, or every time you break rock, maybe there's chance, maybe like every time you break it and collect it, you start getting collapses of the cave and you have to dodge around it. That could be interesting. And then Durgs. Okay, I'll call you Durgs, not gloves. Durg over. Durg lover. Oh, I see. Durg. Core pulses. Core pulses. I'm guessing you're suggesting game ideas as I'm talking about this. I'm going to need more details. Osama says, I love this idea. Yeah, I mean, it can be fun because I don't want to focus on the enemy, but also I don't want it to feel so slow. Like I need there to be weird sentence. What I want is, yes, you get to control if you start the fight or whatever, but once it starts, you're like, it's like, you know, like clenching up, being like trying to survive. That could be fun. Maybe there's like a few things. Okay, I think I can talk about hazards here. Hazards, enemies. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best not to get overscoped here, because it needs to be like one or 2 weeks at most, so that I can make the video. Which, by the way, I'm editing my A-star / pathfinding algorithm video right now, the devlog version, and then I'm probably going to redo the pathfinding implementation from scratch, like ground up, like blank projects with grids, and then just implementing it just to be like, this is how you do it, because I've done it. Minimal inventory. I agree. Minimal inventory. I mean, that's kind of obvious because it's going to be like you use what's you're given. Though, I mean, this is going to be a magical cave, that's for sure. Dirk says, yeah, I mean, living earth might be a thing. Yeah, living earth could be fun. Burial sites or elementals. Yeah, exactly. Elementals and burial sites, and everything is about mining. At the end of the day, your goal is to mine, and that mined result can be used to upgrade or trade. I think that could be cool if there's a trade system. I don't think this is going too far, because you can use the material yourself to build. Should it be self-sufficient? Maybe the trading is a future goal. So I'm gonna say we can have hazards and enemies, collapsing mine, bullet hell, elementals, and golems, active enemies, and some combination, right? Apparently a golem. That's not the golem. I said golem, the Lord of the Ring golem instead of golems. Okay, so let's see. Celine says, hey, Ezra, inventory system? Nah, make the player carry all the items on top of them like a massive pile. You know what's funny? That might be actually interesting. What if... Is that too much? If I make people actually have to carry around? Ooh, what if you need to like... okay, scope creep. But I have a feeling like there's like a fun mechanic where you set up a resource elevator. So whenever you go down to a level, when you collect the resources, you have to deliver the resources to the elevator. Otherwise, if you die before that, you don't get anything. You know? Yeah, exactly, Celine. When you get hit, items fall off and you need to pick them back up. Yeah, and I kind of like that. That's kind of funny. Um, and I think that'll make we can afford to have only few hazards per mining, and each mining be kind of worth something more. That could be interesting. Well, someone says crafting system. Exactly, we need the crafting system. Whoo, okay. Mechanics, minimal inventory. Craft. All right, we're gonna have crafting, but then thing is crafting. Okay, here's the thing. Resource mechanic will be choice of use the mined materials to craft for the run, or put it up on the elevator to use for permanent upgrades. So after the run, you can use your resource to permanently upgrade, or you can use the mined materials to craft in order to help you with the run. Interesting? Yeah? Danimal says, that reminds me of losing coins in Sonic. Yeah, exactly. We need that exact sound effect too. By the way, this is free asset versus paid assets. So even the sound effects, we're going to have to all get it from whatever is available out there, I think. Derek says, so meta progressions, exactly. So I mean, that is a goal, because I want it to be roguelike / light. So there is a persistent progress, but then that progress shouldn't be like completely reducing the randomness, but just kind of making the randomness better or adding additional equipments into the run. Kind of like Gungeon, right? Geyser? What's a geyser? Oh, like as a hazard? Geyser. I don't know what the randomly generated puzzle or maze would look like. That could be something interesting. Stringpunk Sheep says, the elevator and car sounds like a good idea. Don't they set up like lighting in mines that are explored? Yeah, exactly. I think that might be interesting. I think every time you visit a new floor, obviously the minecart will come down, and that's how it starts, and you have to bring it back. Or something like that, maybe. Zikwa says, how is your experience with Godot so far? Do you think switching to another game engine in the future? No, I don't think I will ever switch into another game engine unless I say, oh, I really need that like futuristic, realistic 3D graphic, and I'm working with like 15 people in my team and I have a studio. Maybe then I might consider Unreal, but until then, I think Godot is sufficient. And by that time that happens for me, I think Godot will be sufficient still. Let's see. Underscore says, do you feel like spending time writing a GDD is time well spent rather than iterating quick on MVP prototype? I think you need balance of both. You can see right here, my GDD isn't like starting out as a full-fledged documentation, right? But something that I found really helpful is defining what you think is fun as an experience. And then before making it, to even further focus it, defining who is playing this game. Who are you making this game for? Because otherwise you are hit with scope creep. And I think that is very helpful regardless of fast prototype. Because this is really quick. I've only written this for like 10 minutes. So that you have written records of what you're doing. Furthermore, there is one aspect that is even more helpful, especially for like game jams where you're making prototypes for somebody or you just want to play it quickly. Let's say you have like this much work you need to do in order to make your game, right? Like 2 years worth of mechanics and programming. But then you see that the core mechanic, like for example, if you see Super Mario has multiple levels, different bosses. But at the end of the day, the main game of Super Mario, what makes Super Mario fun is hitting blocks and stomping on enemies and getting to the end while surviving obstacles, right? So you don't need like bunch of levels. So in your document, you can be like, well, this is the essence of my game. And so I can focus on making that first. So it helps you prioritize, I think. So I think it's worth it, in my opinion. I have always done MVP prototype quickly. And what I've noticed is whatever work I'm doing here as written, I was doing it in my head. Only difference is that I was keeping it in my head, and there's a chance overnight I forget some parts of it. So I don't think it's time wasted. Let's see. Denimal says, maybe that mine elevator is where you can buy your upgrades. Maybe. I do want some of the upgrades to be like searched, found within the run. Because part of the satisfaction... Okay, here it is. Game experience. Dopamine triggers. Finally hitting that... perma upgrade, finally beating that one level I couldn't get over, and then finally it's all finally, right? That's the dopamine. Oh shoot, I spelled dopamine wrong. What is it? What else were we talking about? Oh yeah, landing a random loot that you have been waiting for that synergizes with your setup. So this is part of the thing. So I don't want it to be like too controlled. There needs to be this random aspect, because you want that feeling of like, at least for me, this is the kind of like the design principle of this game experience. Okay. Let's see. Cadeau says, you wouldn't want to write your own engine code. It's really fun. Haha. Like, well, I mean, eventually at some point, I kind of had to do that for when Android first came out, right? I developed for Android. Well, I developed Android app back when Android 2 was a thing. And that time, the game on phone was like you had to make your own game loop using the system loop and stuff like that. So I had some experience with that, and it's not fun. It's like a lot of those things are already taken care of, but I guess it's worth to know how it works. Okay. Streampunk says, realism, but not gonna lie, if I had time, a team, and a budget, I would do Unreal. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. You definitely need budget and a team in order to justify doing Unreal. There's plenty of what do you call realistic game releasing goal with Godot and functions, so I don't know. Denimal says, Godot, I thought about that for 30 seconds, lol. Oh. Osama says, abilities to the character. Yeah, abilities to the character. Yeah, we do need abilities. I'm not sure if it's going to be abilities or just based on the weapon. Like the weapon adds different things, or like the upgrades are abilities. We'll have to think about that. I'm not too worried about it. I just want the satisfaction of skillfully dodging things, remembering pattern. Right, remembering pattern. Remembering pattern. Or run relationships. I don't know. Like, oh, if I get this, this happens type of thing. Streampunk says, I need to quench my power fantasy of breaking rocks with another rock to find another rock inside. Exactly. You can throw rocks. Cadeau says, I like it since I get full creative control and I find it fun. I mean, that is true. If you find it fun, it's fun. There's no right or wrong. Celine says, so copper is at the top, but it's not worth as much as iron, which has spikes in the cave. But if you go down how low enough to get gold or diamonds, you have to watch out for lava or enemies. So Minecraft, except dungeon crawler. Temporary upgrade for a level. Exactly. Temporary upgrade is definitely the focus. Voice says, finally landing a random loot. Exactly. Finally landing a random loot is definitely a good thing. Collection, aka Stardew Museum. Ooh, collection. I do like that. Collection / adding NPCs. Honestly, like this is a huge part for me. I don't know. I don't know if that has the same, especially if they provide some interesting angle for everything you do. but that's a lot of work. So maybe it's not top of the list. Oops. Okay. I think we have enough. It's definitely good. We've decided that it's going to be top down. Let's polish out some of the mechanics that we were thinking about. Okay. Definitely you hit. All right. We have the game experience kind of like summarized. We're going to probably make more things. Okay. Game experience. We're going to add a few sections here. We have the hub, which is the top level. Setup level, right? This is where you respawn. And then we should be heading to actually. So I'm taking all of this and then now cleaning it up so that, like right now I have these like shotgun of ideas everywhere. There's some good points. We don't actually know how they all connect to each other. So I'm trying to get to that part where I'm connecting these ideas together in a way that serves the original, design goal. So I don't lose sight of what I was trying to do while expanding on this, right? Because once you're starting to ideate, it does do a lot of like expansion, which is really fun, but it can get away from your original intention. Dash. Definitely want dash. Some sort of like speed up and down. Exhaustion, maybe? I definitely want stamina. I think mining and picking up things, stamina is a huge part, and I think that's important. It would be even interesting if your stamina doesn't recharge. What if you have like actually limited stamina for a level? And if you run out of stamina, you just collapse. A little harsh, but that could be interesting. Thanks for the follow, El Pipo. Demo says, sorry, unrelated question, but when developing Godot, is there any noticeable optimization difference when coding the game in GDScript or C#? I keep seeing people argue about what is better, lol. I mean, there are a bunch of people who's already done performance comparison. Like, it is like hardline truth that C# will be faster in terms of execution because it's compiled versus GDScript is interpreted. It's just there is a limit that interpret can hit. The problem is how big is the difference, right? That's the question. Like, how noticeable is it, and at what level is it noticeable? Way it's set up right now, I don't think it'll be noticeable for most games, honestly. I think unless you're really trying to get to that like a memory level manipulation where you really need that like tight control because you're trying to shave off like a few hundred milliseconds per frame or whatever, few tens of milliseconds per frame, I think you should be able to stick with GDScript for the most part. It is really powerful and it does a lot. And I don't see an immediate reason to just go on C#. Okay. Shrimpunk Sheep says, are environments volatile to the player? Like experiencing black lung or blindness or slowness? Ooh, I like that. I mean, that's a really good way to like, because then like you start to develop these like item ideas that kind of synergizes with getting a black lung, for example, or rough surfaces and like, you know, whatever, you develop calluses or something like that. Environmental effect, like causing illness, black lung, and etc. I kind of like that. Dirk says, what if you eat rocks to recharge stamina? Getting that micro elements. Maybe there could be like salt rocks or something like that in the mine. Poyart says, how is the depth going to be communicated given the perspective is top down? Well, I mean, I think each level is going to be fade in and fade out, right? You're going to jump down into the hole or whatever. So that's going to be good enough, I think. Kind of like, because Enter the Gungeon already does that, right? If you played Enter the Gungeon, or if you're familiar with it, the whole concept is the guy is going down this dungeon one level at a time. And it feels like you're going down. So I'm probably going to draw some inspiration from that. Okay. Cal Linux 86 says, exclamation today. I don't know what that command is supposed to do. If you let me know, I'll add that. Maybe I'll add that. I don't know. Dirk also said, or Celine says, me when I look down at the yellow bar on my arm and God tells me that I ran out of stamina before I collapsed from lack of energy disease. Well, I mean, hey, if you've worked out or played sports, you know their point. There's only so much stamina you can recover. You know what? That would be fun. Maybe you can take a breather to restore your stamina, but if you're like constantly on this like red aspect, like you can like permanently run. But if you do that, this like max level stamina goes down. So you can like permanently like, or you can run for a long time, dash around to dodge during really like triggering moments. But then that shaves off your maximum stamina potential. That could be interesting. Oh, what are we doing today? Okay, I see. Thanks for the follow, Akalinux. I'll really explain real quick, but I do want to catch up on the chat here. Dirk says, what if you eat rocks to recharge stamina? That's interesting. Maybe you're a dwarf. Getting that microelements, exactly, all the iron and mineral. Voice says, it's only noticeable in games like Bullet Hell and Vampire Survivors, especially in the logic movement of objects spawned. Yeah, exactly. Shop. We need shops. Yeah, in-level shop can be fun. You can find rock candy, says Denimal. Yeah, of course, we do need rock candy. Cook the rocks. Make the rocks soft by cooking it. Kudo says, if you're already using a scripting language, you're already adding some kind of logic transfer layer. The C# isn't exactly light either. Yeah, it's not exactly light, but it allows for memory control. So that's why I was like, if you want some hardware control. Let's see. Linux no, we already did that. Okay, what are we doing today? Lightning. Not sure what the lightning is for, but I'll do explain it in the chat. I'm going to explain Linux what we're doing today. So I have a bunch of projects going. So yet another project for me. The video that I'm working on right now, I wanted to do a free asset versus paid asset project video where I compare the two, like making the two different experiences, because I never use pre-made assets. I always custom make the assets all the time, and it takes a lot of work. And a lot of people have asked me, it's like, hey, Ezra, what do you think about that? And I'm like, I have no opinion because I have never done it. So as part of that experience learning, I am going to do this free asset versus paid asset comparison. I don't exactly know how I'm going to measure success. Only thing I know is that I'm going to make exactly same game with two different set of assets, one free and one paid. And see how that goes. Two, I wanted to make a quick game, and I like roguelike, and roguelike is a good quick game, right? You just need a little bit of vertical slice before the game starts to become replayable. So that's what I'm doing, and I like roguelike. So we are making a game that's kind of like Enter the Gungeon / Hades inspired, and I wanted to have a unique angle. So I'm saying this is a mining game. It's not just combating for combat's sakes. You are mining. You're a miner. Maybe you're going for that mystical mithril at the bottom of the ruin. I don't know. Maybe you're a dwarf that's going down to fight Balrog. Who knows, right? It doesn't matter. So that's the angle. And I was thinking like it would be interesting if it's not like typical fight, but more really focused on the theme of mining, but then still feel actiony. So we're doing a little bit of game design right now before we hunt for assets. So I don't know if I should hunt for assets first or do the mechanics first. I think I'm going to hunt for assets first. So there's some interesting things that can happen. So far in this mining game, we have a few things kind of set up. We know a few dopamine triggers that we want to have for the game to be successful. And we have some ideas of what the enemies and hazards look like. You know, I was thinking like you can mine things, but as soon as you mine it, the cave or the room starts to collapse potentially, stuff like that. And then you have to do a little bullet hell, stuff like that. Makoto says, oh no, I already read that. Osama says, light for the dark places. Ah, lighting. Okay. Like there being a pitch black versus you need to like light the way. It might be interesting. I'm not sure if that's going to be like the core mechanic of it. I think that'll be a really nice additional thing. So he says, oh, Ezra, wait, that actually might be a good idea. Make it so that when you run out of stamina, you have to take a breather. Reduces max stamina, but increases stamina. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Mechanic. I guess we got the player control here, which will be stamina, management, mismanagement, and forced action requires pushing past, pushing hard, which results in perma stamina max decrease. And then of course, that's, you know, what that is. Maybe perhaps, I don't know how I'm going to implement this, but that's going to be something that could be interesting. I just don't want it to be too many balls to juggle, so to speak, for the player. Just enough to be interesting. So he says, but each level has a timer before you have to resurface. Ooh, I mean, there could be something. Yeah. Some like upgrades like mask rebreather. For some reason, there's no water level, but then you need a rebreather for some reason. Zenbox says, whenever you go down, you get extra time on the timer. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Now, I don't know what the time limit would be, or if there should be a time limit. Because if there's no time limit, people will just kind of chill. And is that okay? Ooh, yeah, maybe it gets like gaseous as you go down. And you can either hold your breath, which doesn't probably work very well, or you can pick up some stuff to help you breathe, I guess. That could be an interesting progress. Dirk says, maybe level filled with cave gas. Exactly. Luminescent life forms. I love that. Maybe strong hits will decrease max stamina, like to make a strong hit. Ooh, okay. That could be potentially really punishing. That's the only thing that I kind of worry about, but we'll see. I'm going to focus on getting this like minimal mechanics here. Okay. So pickaxe combat, which will be really hard to hit while dodging, because naturally, so that means we definitely need a knockback. Knockback is a must. It's a must, I think. And that's a huge mechanic, because if, just like Hades, if you're close by, if you hit and then it's still coming at you without any delay, then like it's a lot to manage. Oh, bye, Celine. Thanks for stopping by. What do we got here? Sub Vitali, thank you. Shrinkpunk says, search for something special in the mine like crystal. Yeah, I think I like that. Can search for special crystal. Maybe on each level there's something. And I think it needs to be a choice. Like, I don't want people to be like, okay, well, this run I'm going to focus on speed versus this run I'm going to focus on full exploration. Because you could have something like that. I think Dead Cell does that really well. So I can take some, inspiration from that. Streampunk says, have you guys ever saw those claustrophobic cave diving video tragedies? That feeling of never getting out? Oh, no, please. I think it could work for that game where things start to narrow. Okay. I like it. All right. Pickaxe, knockback is a must. Minimal inventory. Okay, so we can come up with some item ideas as well. And then this is not end all be all. And I think run item. Or actually, hold on. Items are naturally for the run. You pick it up during the run, or craft during the run, I guess. How about okay, so concept of boss and mini boss in a level. Mini boss, you can choose to fight the mini boss, so to speak, to access the magical crafting table, which you can skip if you want to just do a kind of like the solid run. Oh, maybe it should be an option. Maybe maybe fighting a boss is an option, or mining. You got to mine the main crystal of the level. Guardian crystal or something like that. And if you mine it, as soon as you hit it, that's a decision. You're choosing to mine it, and you have to fight some sort of hazard. Yeah. And you can't just blindly try to go down deeper and deeper because you're exposing yourself to danger if you're trying to do it blind. No upgrade. I don't want to do any hard lock. Like, for example, people who are really good at the game should still be able to get to the last level without having to do upgrades. Like, if that's the run that you want to do, then you can. Okay. All right. Item. We got the main weapons. Oops. I wonder if it's like third, like that. I should probably do it like this, just like that. Okay. Got pickaxe combat. Knockback is a must. Okay, minimal inventory. Let's take a look at mining, because that's kind of important. What does mining look like? And I'm going to define some of these mining right now. All materials. Should everything be breakable? Ooh. Every wall is breakable. That's like really unique to a roguelike, I think. That also gives a chance for like hidden resources. Or almost every wall is breakable. So we can have type of materials here. And we can create a chart. See what I mean? Like this, all these ideas, technically you could have intuitively implemented it and start jumping into it. But thing is, like, these are the ideas you would have had to have like planned anyways or think of. And if you're not writing it out like this, there's a chance that you're gonna like start having like non-synergistic things that are happening. Hi, Mikori. High caliber. Dirk says there might be different instruments for mining, like pickaxe, hammer, and pistons. Pistons, you mean? I don't know about that one. Explosive, yes. Dirk says everything breakable, but if you use proper tool, you get additional special resource. Ooh. I mean, this is like, we need to take straight from the Minecraft inspiration, I think. Like certain things should only be mineable with like certain type of thing. Let's see. Dynamo says, I like that. And if you could dig into the walls to block yourself from projectiles, like I remember doing in Nuclear. Ooh, oh my gosh. That's such a great mechanic. Okay, I love that. Okay, so let's just come up with some stuff. We got the stone. We're going to take like straight from nothing crazy, nothing special. We're going to copy from the well-known stuff. And it's an easy concept. So I do believe in not inventing a new thing when I can help it. If the what do you call, concept is easily understandable as is. So we're gonna have stone. I don't want to do coal. I don't want to do it. I want to do. Let's do copper. Iron. silver, gold, and obviously diamond. And then we're going to have some more magical stuff, which will be like gemstones, right? Like opal. I mean, diamond is technically, you know, sapphire. I think opals are more opal. Something that's visually unique. We're going to get sapphire, which is going to be blue. We'll have ruby. And then, I mean, crystal, diamond. These are the different types of crystals, I think. Malachite. Those are known. Malachite. Right? Is that how you spell it? Malachite? It's the green one, I think. Yeah, green rock thing. Somebody who's really knowledgeable about stone is going to be like, that's not how you get those. And then instead of diamond, I think diamond is going to be separate. I think we're going to go for more like platinum and mithril. And mithril. So these are the materialistic ores, and these are the magical crystals, gems, so to speak. Gravel, stone, coal. Yeah, exactly. I can't have that. Mikuri says, what y'all working on? Okay, so I'm working on my free asset versus paid asset video idea. So I'm going to make a quick roguelike game that's meant to compare the success, which I still haven't decided, of using free assets versus paid assets. Because as you know, I always make my own assets, and I'm tired of doing it. And people have been asking, what do I think about not using it? So I'm doing that. And I am making a GDD for the game idea. I just had an idea of like making a top-down roguelike kind of actiony stuff, but it's mining. It's like mining game. So we have so few ideas. So like every enemy is not really an enemy. You get hazards like breaking the mine wall, like starts triggering some sort of like collapse, that kind of stuff. Or yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to make too much sense. It doesn't have to be realistic. It could be like every time you break a wall, a bullet can come out of it for all I care. You know what I mean? Iron. Did I do iron? I did iron here. Osama says, X can be broken by time. I don't know about the tool breaking yet, because that's really, really debilitating. I personally don't like tools breaking because it feels bad, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay. I guess we can give them hardness, right? So type of materials. Each material has hardness that can only be mined with tool with equal or stronger hardness. Yeah? So your tool needs to be upgraded for hardness. So we have this type of material is its own thing. And then we have this. I don't have to worry about, I guess, I don't know. Do I write the hardness here? Because that's starting to get into the aspect of the design here. So for example, if it's 1, stone is 1, I don't know, copper is 2, iron is 2. Silver is actually really soft, so it doesn't really fit, but for the argument, let's say this is 4 and mithril is like 6. Diamond 10. But yeah, how would I ever do this is, I guess, the question. Maybe this mithril should be like, mithril should be 8. Diamond is the hardest? I don't know. I feel like I'm going to say you can't make like full material. You can only like upgrade. So material itself is hard. I think the crystals can be pretty hard in general. We'll do 5 on these like that, right? for example. And then we can have some sort of like coding thing, but we can do that later. I think this is just like a type of material chart anyways. And we can talk about like what level they start to appear, I think, later. Not going to worry about that. I don't know if stone should be mineable because that's going to be way too much. I think normal wall will just collapse without producing anything. Or maybe they have chance of producing. Maybe each level wall have chance of randomly producing certain type of materials, but not guaranteed. Except if you hit the, like, actually, if the wall consists of certain percentage of material, for example, then it's going to show up as something, I guess. So that you can actually luck into getting a diamond, for example, without having the actual proper tool. That could be fun. Or I guess that could be from defeating an enemy. Sofa says, I really like tools breaking, but I'm freak. Do you? I don't know. I mean, the problem with tools breaking is that it's like additional management. You know what? I'll float that. I'll keep that idea. And maybe there's something we can work with. And then I think what I want to do here is that when I'm like crafting, like you can put dust or like the fragments of these gems, like that's something you can do, onto your material, which adds effect. So for example, if you apply diamond to your pickaxe, it's like +5 to the hardness of your thing. But then if you do like malachite, for example, it's opposite. It's like whatever you strike it gets reduced hardness by 1 or something like that, which is like effectively +1, but then there might be a reason why that might be more effective, right? Mikori says diamond should have 5% chance to instantly break, since if you hit a diamond at a certain angle, it breaks easily. Ooh, that could be interesting. You know what? A little bit of frustration in a run is not a bad idea. Gems equals Tinker's Construct. I don't know what that means. You can get some staff from enemies. Staff? Magic? You know what? I want dual wielding. I actually want dual wielding. Or, like, I think shuffling between different weapon, I guess, or tool is part of the skill. Hey, Bokonan, I guess. I don't know. Could add saltpeter. Oh, saltpeter. So you can make black powder. True. You can use saltpeter to make black powders for some booms. Dynamites. I think those could be explosives. Could be an extra thing. I actually don't know the mechanics of saltpeter. Let's do saltpeter, which is like, I think it's really soft actually. We can do 2. And I think we can add that to have AoE effect. Every time you strike, you get a boom, which hurts you as much as the walls. I think that could be fun. Dirk earlier said, oh geez, I missed some stuff. Okay, so Caliber already said hi. Hi Caliber. Dirk says there might be different instruments for mining, like pickaxe. And we already read that. Special resource. Cool. Bone. Dual wielding pickaxes. Tinker's Construct is Minecraft mod with tools, weapons. Because oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but that could be fun. Yeah. Staff for magic. I think this could be really fun. All right. So we're mining. We got some materials. I already have some basic upgrade ideas maybe here. Some effects. Craft effects. I think there can be 2 different things. There's a craft effect, so you can choose to use the materials for craft. Main for stone pickaxe. Main for copper pickaxe. Main for iron pickaxe. Silver main for silver pick. I feel like silver pickaxe is kind of silly. I feel like silver, gold, and platinum should be separate thing. I feel like silver, gold, platinum should be more magical. Like, yeah. And mithril is 6, and we can do 3 here. Because having a silver pickaxe and gold pickaxe kind of feels silly. And platinum. Platinum is like in between, I guess. It should have 2 purposes. Maybe. Made for plat pickaxe. Okay. Right? Curver says, late to the game. It's okay. We're just getting started here. We're on GDD right now. Game development document. Hello, Doc Hunter. Some sort of language that I cannot read, but thank you for chatting. Treasure. Yes, treasure, 100%. We do need treasure, don't we? Treasure. Oh, I guess I'm already writing down some resource stuff here. I might have to get rid of this section, but we'll see. Yeah, these are, oh, you mean the silver and gold is a treasure. Okay, let's see. Mikori says dual wielding pickaxe, Tinker Construct. Curver says late to the game. Saltpeter apparently formed from potassium nitrate deposit in walls and bet guano. Oh, I see. So explosives are bet poo, huh? Yeah, exactly. Actually, you know what? I think I've heard that before. Yes, it is. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything, but I think I've heard that before. Harness boost on equipment. Opal's going to be, let's see what opal looks like. Opal. We're going to look at it and the image of the gem inform our idea. It looks shiny, sparkly. It's got multiple kind of spacey and vortexy. I feel like there needs to be some sort of like space related effect from the opal. What do you think? So like spark, light. Yes, some sort of light, some sort of light effect, spark, light effect. Yeah, Curver says, oh man, I love these rocks. We love rocks, don't we? Dirk says, moon silver pickaxe, better illumination, alchemical gold pickaxe. Yeah. Spark, light effect, illumination. Sapphire, which I know is blue crystal, but we're going to take a look anyways. Sapphire. Oh, so fun. I feel like instead of sapphire, I like aquamarine better. It also feels like it's cooler name. You know? But sapphire is easier to read, I guess. Okay. Sapphire. Man, it looks colored. This is definitely like arcane, right? It's some sort of arcane effect. Sapphire is definitely some sort of arcane effect, which is, I guess, some sort of arcane chilling effect, if that matters somehow. Freezing enemies, freezing hazards, freezing time. Ruby is easy, some sort of fire effect. Malachite, which is green. I think it's okay. It's almost giving jade, which is giving wealth. I feel like this has like yield effect. Yield manipulation. Saltpeter is explosive. Okay. Silver and gold. They need to have different aspect. I think silver and gold should be money, no? Mikuri says, I'm simple. I see green, I think health. No. We're not going to kid ourselves and inform the world that mining is healthy for you. You're permanently dying as you go through this mine. Never getting healthier. Dirk says, space, teleportation. Aquamarine maybe give resistance to ailment and environment. Ooh, I do like that. Okay. Aquamarine, which will be also 5, will be some sort of like breathing, Protection. Yeah. Okay. Streampunk says silver for detection like Witcher maybe? Okay. I think there could be an interesting use. So I think silver, gold, platinum, these three things, precious metal, not just metal, can be used for detection. Detection agent. And detection agent, I guess, could have different effect. We're going to have to be like, okay, so you can have this like upgrade. Maybe in the second run, somebody comes through and be like, hey, here's a little thing. You just need to pop in your silver, and it has a charge to use as a detection agent, maybe. Obviously, all of these can be collected for different type of upgrades up in the top level. Fun. This could be fun. Dirk says silver is known to detect poison. Gold is extremely inert. Yeah. Though I don't know how I'm going to make it so that during the run, I have silver. So I have like collection of silver. Like once you upgrade it, I don't need it, right? I guess you can like... Okay, so I do think that the tools need to break. You're right. Tools have to break. Items have to break. Breaks after certain usage. Because there needs to be a constant chase of the material and build and craft throughout the runs, I think. Because otherwise you wouldn't want to reserve anything. You just build it once and you got it permanently. Dirk says, also silver may be used for reflective mirrors or lanterns. I think I like that idea. It's just, we're getting into like full crafting, like a Minecraft level full crafting. So maybe that will be down the road. I want to focus on this experience of upgrade, level, deliver, and choose some decisions, beat boss, level, do some of more of those, level, blah, blah, blah. And I think for this game, I'll just make 4 levels. 4-level dungeon. But each level is like has its own thing, obviously. Enough that people feel like running it multiple times is not bad. I think I'm making like maybe like hour or 2 or 1 hour experience at most. Dirk says, got carried away. No, it's okay. I think these are all great ideas. We're getting hyped. This is a good sign. This is a good sign of game idea at the core, having like really fun, exciting core is when people can imagine all the great things that can happen from it. And I am not one to kind of shut it down. I do want to keep it up. All of that can be very useful. Okay, so we have some materials here that can be fun. We have some basic ideas of what that means. I think almost every wall is breakable is a good thing. I do want to have limit like bedrock type of situation where you just can't break it. There could be fun thing where okay. Sorry, I had to pause. I had to think about this because I was thinking it would be really cool if the first level has a encased wall section of a harder material, right? So you're like, oh shoot, I know there's something I can access that I don't have the equipment for, but I don't want it to be permanently upgradable, like the equipments where after you finish a run, all of a sudden now you have a diamond pickaxe. I need it to be a choice. You don't keep everything. So on the elevator, when you're sending material back up, you can choose to give up your currently crafted items and send it up. So you can't use it on the run. And that is like, but it's limited. You can send up like 1 item up. And that's an upgrade you can do. You can do 1 item save, 2 items save. And maybe like 3 item is the max save. I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, maybe 3 item is the max save. And then those items include the materials as well. So instead of sending all the materials up, you can choose to send select materials up. And at the hub, you can trade the materials for money to do some sort of other like RNG upgrades. And also you can choose to just send up the items you can use on the next run. So then you can send up, for example, like the platinum pickaxe. And on level 1, you can get to a wall that was like locking out certain secrets that you can kind of pick at it. That could be interesting, right? Thanks for the follow, Mr. Boy. Mr. D-Boy, I guess. Yeah. Dirk says, silver, gold, platinum can be like boss vulnerabilities. Ooh, I do like that. I think the metal vulnerabilities could be very interesting. And you can kind of prep for it. And there's like a little bit of RNG. So I think each level should have 2 different types of boss. Like the randomly chosen. Write it down, write it down. Oh, shoot. I need to write it down. Okay, hold on. Game experience hub, dopamine triggers. We're going to have... run. Each level, players can choose to send up select amount of items up the mine to use on the next run. I think that should be sufficient. Boss, enemies. Some bosses have materialistic weaknesses, vulnerabilities. Like that idea. AK Lock says, how many cups of coffee do you daily? I just do 1. I don't do more than 1. That's too much. I get super jittery on the second cup, I think. And 1 is sufficient. Calms me down. Dirk says, generally, any material vulnerable to X could be fun. Yes. And First Superman says, can we have silly things like slime blocks or salt rocks? I think that's a great idea. Things that you just can't break through. like slime block, you can't, it doesn't break. You just need to wade through it. Okay. Slime blocks and salt rocks. I like salt rocks. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do with salt rocks, but it can be fun. Kinetic sand ASMR blocks, where you just like that. Dirk says, I have up to 1/4 of a cup of coffee. To be honest, it's like twice each week. I see. I just get 1 basically pool, so double shot, Americano. Yeah, Bakonan says, gotta slowly wade through. Exactly. Denimal says, I used to drink an entire pot of coffee. I limited to 2 now because I feel like it was having bad effect on my health. Yeah, I think the coffee's biggest downside effect is anxiety. I think some people get that. Not everyone, especially like at a high level. You don't really need that much caffeine. I try not to depend on it. That's why I only get 1 pull a day. If I can help it. Also, that's like sufficient. Just enough to keep the headache away. Because now I'm addicted. All right. I think this is really good. This is a good start. We can do some level design here. I'm thinking. We can do some shops. We can even do some sort of progression planning here. That can be really fun. Thanks for the follow, WRHC. Thanks for the follow, Bokonan. Thanks for the follow, everyone. It's been good. Bokonan says, I'm on 1 to 2. On my peak, I worked in a kitchen next to a pot of coffee and had like 8 cups a day. You know what that is, Bokonan? I don't think you drank coffee because you needed it. You just like, you're bored. You just needed something to drink. Something that is not like ice cold, that has some flavor. That's why you're like just fixated drinking it. I know the feeling. Typically, like sipping on tea helps. If you're going to do that, might as well just drink green tea or chamomile. Dirk says, I'm just become sleepy after coffee because ADHD. Yeah, exactly. I mean, also the crash makes you sleepy. Coffee does calm me down. So, Danimal says, that and kids keep me tired. I bet. Someone says, the environment could be imbued with the remnants of past miners that create historic atmosphere. Yeah, I do like that. That's not part of the mechanics, but we want to say environmental storytelling of past miners. We want that. That's going to be heading 2. Which I'm not sure the details. We can think about what could be there, what elements could be there. Hey, thanks for the raid, Mr. Boy. Mr. D Boy. Welcome, Raiders. Hope you had a great stream. For those of you who's joining us, I am making a roguelike miner. Kind of like inspired by Enter the Gungeon and Hades. Basically a run-based stuff. And mainly I'm doing this because I'm making a video called Free Asset versus Paid Asset, What Wins type of thing. So I wanted to make a simple, fun, rerunnable game that feels slightly unique, but not too complicated to make. I still don't know how I'm going to measure the success of these two, but it seems like it's pretty fun. We're having a blast coming up with this game design so far. So far, we have a hub that we can upgrade things in. And then every time you go down, you're fighting enemies, but it's actually mainly a mining experience. So every wall is breakable. There is randomly generated maze or dungeon crawler, but every wall can be mined. But then there's different like hardness that you need to use. I do want to make it so that the first time you get into the mine, not everything is mineable. There's some mechanics of choosing to send materials back up so you can use for the next run. That could be fun. So yeah, we're going to make it as thin as possible. Thanks for the follow, Liam, Andreas. Yeah, thanks. Mr. Boy says, oh, nice. Yeah, thank you. It's been fun. I think this idea is pretty fun. Curver says, defend the town. Yes, that's what we want to do. Let's see. Denimal says, when you create these little games, do you usually drag scripts you already know work in? Or do you usually start the script? Depends. It depends. If I know for a fact that what I have worked on is really complicated enough that I need to drag it in, then I do that. But a lot of the times... So I have this like intuition where trying to reuse a script and change some parts can become more hassle than writing it fresh from the beginning. Because, for example, like you do on Godot, you do like on ready var blah 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 and then stuff all the time, right? Like you still type it out because it's like you know what it is and it's really fast. Like trying to copy and paste from some other line and changing the variable name would be more complicated than just writing it out immediately because you just know it. So there's a lot of those aspects. Danimal says, he said doo-doo. Sorry, I'll go. Shadow says, also, I'm pregnant. Hi, Shadow. Wait, do you always change your name? I know there's this like one viewer, and I'm guessing it's you, that keeps saying I'm pregnant or I'm still pregnant. Hey, Zuzu. Played Wildgate yet? No, I haven't. What is that game? Explain. Usama says, you must focus in the environment in the mine. Exactly. When you create these little... I know, I already read that. Down the street says, no, that's me. Oh my gosh. So we have 2 people that's saying that they're pregnant all the time. Goodness. Liam says, what's the stack for this game? What is the stack for this game? GD Script and Godot. Mr. Boy says, I too am using Godot, making a cute, cozy colony farming automation game. Ooh. Drop a link if you have it. Oh, actually, you will have to DM us or put it into Discord, actually. Links enabled, and I don't know how to enable it temporarily. Curver says, by the way, someone made a plugin to automatically type the signal functions when you want to connect them. Makes them either inline or separate. Not sure what that means. Oh, you mean like doing the connect and unhandle at the same time? That could be convenient. You know what? I'm an old boomer that doesn't like changes. So if you introduce me all these new tech, it better be like straight up no work at all. Okay, so we have the resources, we have everything here. We got some ideas. I'm still cleaning up some ideas because I still feel like, yes, I can start programming it, but I don't have a complete end-to-end play experience figured out. So let's do that. So we're doing here hub, the start of the game, right? Let's do start of the game. Because, by the way, I'm still not wasting my time because this is an exercise I have to do, right? Your first impression of your game is top to bottom. You open the game, you open the title. What is the experience you have? And that needs to be planned out, right? Like that is the most important part of the game in order to capture your audience. So I like to do that. I never write it down, but I want to do it right now. Because once again, once I do all this, I just need to hunt for assets and program it. So I want to turn off my brain as much as possible about the game design before jumping into it. Denimal says, "You're pregnant?" No, they're not pregnant. They always say that. I don't know where it came from, but they keep saying that. Oh, bye. Streampunk says, it's GDD, Ezra. Have fun, guys. I got to go work. Oh, bye. Have fun at work, I guess. I mean, I'm working. I'm having fun. You guys should stream. Okay, Dirk says, glowing bugs randomly lighting the cave. You can either follow them or use your own limited lighting resources. Capture the bug. Maybe certain bugs light up different things. Ooh, write it down, write it down. Okay, but I don't know what the capture mechanic will be like. Maybe you throw a Pokeball. Ooh, Mr. Boy. We got Link. Oh, Mr. Farm Boy. Ooh, it looks nice. I like it. Look at that. Oh, cute. Okay, okay. Legit. Little jumpy animation, but it's okay. It gets the point across. Oh, well, look at that. Huge. Okay, I can see the potential. At least aesthetically, I like it. You should... Okay, little feedback. I don't like this title screen. It's good art, by the way. It's good art. Don't get me wrong. I like seeing this. As someone who's really loves pixel art, this sells me on the game more than this. I don't know how you're going to translate it so that by looking at the title, I can get the feeling of, oh, it's like pixel retro kind of like feeling. That's up to you, I guess. But cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks to Mikori for taking care of that. Dirk says, or Biggs can be an option for gaseous caves. Biggs? I don't know what that means. Since bugs. Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be fun. Like capturing a ferry through a misty mountain. Kilver says, when you type .connect, you can press a shortcut, which would basically make underscore on X function for... Oh, that's pretty cool. That's quick and nifty. I mean, all of those little shortcuts probably save time enough to make it faster. Danimal says, careful, Nintendo will come for you. Wait. Why would Nintendo come for me? Did I use some of their property? Intellectual property? I'm Mr. Nintendo, Mr. Big Corporate. I have not used their IP. Please forgive me. First Superman says, please show. Yeah, please show. I don't know how to do that. Curver says, I'll send it in Discord. Okay, yeah. Share all the nifty development tips and tricks on Discord. Try not to share files, though, because, you know, files are suspicious. Curver is the most active member on the resource and guides section, seems like. Curver always got cool new tools to introduce. Let's see. Mikuri, the scope slowly creeping in the documents. Dude, this game has become a huge project. So I'm trying my best to kind of lock it down. And that is this end-to-end experience is the lock. So we're going to say and what do they call it? They call it the first time player experience. FTP, I think. First time experience. So this was like open title, screen, start game. This feels wasteful. It's not. This is actually very helpful to me. Oh, and Danimal says you said throw a Pokeball. That's right. That's true. Throw a Buggy Ball. I mean, true. What was that other game? Pal World? Got in trouble with Nintendo, right? Man, they got hyped up and then nothing happened with them in a while, huh? Mr. D-Boy says that's old demo. Steam version is up to date. Oh, nice. Okay. Mikuri says, look at the Steam site for 2. Easy. Okay, hold on. Ah, yes. Look at that. Love it. Go wish list. Here we go. I'll wish list it. Hey, how do I wish list? Is it just already available? Is that why?
This is big brain time.
Wait, hold on. Why did I just hear big break time? Oh, thanks for the bits, Mikuri. I forgot that I set that up. I was like, where am I hearing this sound from? It scared me. There it is. Oh, no, I got to log in. Hold on. I don't want to have to... Hopefully it's already logged in. Oh. Let me, there you go. You don't know my ID. Don't friend request me on Steam. Oh, shoot. Ah. It's okay. I mean, what's the worst thing you guys can do to me anyways, right? What is it called again? Can I just type in the address? What is it? Mr. Farm Boy. Mr. Farm Boy. Coming soon, Mr. Farm Boy. Will add to wish list. Wish list. Well, congrats on making such progress, Mr. Farm Boy. Okay, Denimal says, click the add to wish list. You said throw a Pokemon. Yeah, there you go. Writing it down because we would never guess as the dev. Yeah. It's a very secret, super duper secret, hard to guess who I am type of username. Let's see. I'm catching up on chat here. Bruce Nelson and Discord. The scope. Yep. Check the Steam. Mr. Boy says, yeah, I did get that feedback before. I should use the pixel art. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, personally, by looking at the title alone, I don't think I would have opened it. But if I looked at the screenshot, that game screenshot, that I might have more been interested. But that's just me. Andrew says, put it through ChatGPT to get a rough restylization and then recreate that in that exact style. Are you talking about summarizing all this? Curvert says, okay. Curvert uploaded all those docs into the Discord or like the resource. Bokuno says, check out my cool plugin. ***.exe. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, we're going to just do it. I don't know what we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. Mikori's really enjoying this bit stuff. Thanks for another bits. Tengia bot says, Mikori sent big brain time. Oh, that's a bot. Okay. See, I didn't know I set this up. It's working. It's good to know that it's working. Curver says, Steam's UI is unintuitive, not gonna lie. I always get lost trying to, yeah. Also, nothing stands out in Steam's UI. It's like, what? Where's what? This is a button? Is this button important? Yeah, I guess. It's good for dark mode, though. Mr. Boyce, thank you. Andrea says, no, haha, about the game critic. Oh, I see. Yeah. Let's see. Andrea's The Farm Game. Yes. Okay, caught up. All right. There's nothing to read anymore. Durglove. Durg, thanks for the hydrate. All right, let's get back into this. Okay, so the first time experience, we got title screen, we got start the game. First thing I really want to emphasize the kind of like the experience of the hub, right? We don't need a story, I think. Tutorial, I think, is probably important. We're gonna get into the hub world. Hub world. What should it show? Player start at the hub world. Players, I guess. Thanks for something, I guess. I got a notification. Let's see. Mr. Boy on YouTube. Thanks for the sub. Let's see. Curver says, I have enough points to redeem 72 squats right now. No, you can't. I have delay set up. Also, I have a workout at 4 p.m. today, or my time 4 p.m. So don't do too much. Fruit Superman says, what are your thoughts about an open source game store as an alternative to Steam? Cool. Unfortunately, like I love the idea of supporting these like conceptually non-corporate, more to the creator focused things. I would try it if somebody says try it. Unfortunately, all that matters is having an audience. It needs to have players in them for me to want to post in there, because otherwise it's an extra management that I will not get anything out of, unfortunately. And yeah, it's not all about just getting something out of something, but like it's nicer if I can support something nice and get something out of it, right? Because at the end of the day, because I'm not just filthy rich person that's doing this for fun only, you need to make certain sense of like profit in order to justify the action. That's the reality. Bokono says, user base is everything, says Lee. Yeah, exactly. User base is everything. I mean, if you are planning on making something like that and you want to really make it work, then you really need user base promises. You need to make a lot of marketing push to make user base. But also, in order to make the user base, you need a lot of good titles for users to want to come to you. Right? The biggest conversion struggle in application and maybe even game or websites in general is that initial friction of like converting people. Like, why would people give up on what they already have and set up a new experience? Because that's a lot of work. People don't like doing that, actually. So, you know, in order to do that, this is why whenever new game console comes out or like new game store comes out, they are so obsessed with getting exclusive title that will be successful, or they're obsessed with coming up with the title in-house to draw attention from people so that people are forced to use it. And that's just like kind of like a must, because otherwise people are not going to do it. And that's also why, like, I don't know, back in the day, like the whole like Blizzard player and Epic player was getting a lot of flack. Bokono says, yeah, I support open source, but I won't just leave my 15 years of collected games on Steam behind. Exactly. And that is also why you kind of want, like, you wish like online store does give you ways to just transfer your some sort of like digital copy of the game as an ownership, as opposed to being like, hey, if that company went under, like all of a sudden you don't have any access to any of the game. That would be really, unless like each individual companies that you bought the game from choose to manage that for you. But then that's also extra resources that the game company has to manage that they don't get any additional resource from. So it's like a really difficult decision. It's really hard to get nice things in those situations. That's why I still am a huge believer of physical copy of games. Unfortunately, fortunately, you know. Okay, Curver says, one of the reasons why Steam is awesome is that it requires $100 per game. I don't think people will be willing to pay for a new market. We can make it open to the public for a while, but to keep low effort games, we got to make it paid. Exactly. I mean, I'm surprised Itch succeeded at all. And I think Itch had an angle, which was the whole free game genre, right? Kind of like how Newgrounds first started in the beginning. That there was a lot of like web-based games that you can play for free. And it was like more like low fidelity type of games can live there and thrive. And it's starting to become more of a destination for people. So you need that kind of angle if you're going to do anything like that. That's how I feel, at least. Let's see. Okay. Player starts at the hub world. Hub world, I think there should be some sort of tutorial experience, but I think hub, I'm going to probably take the approach of Enter the Gungeon, where so first time hub world doors or entry to all functions, aka dungeon, is blocked. Only tutorial practice level is open. And you, I don't know why you would, I guess, I don't care about the telling of the story here too much, I think. I don't think we care about the story. Maybe you don't even start at the hub world. I have to think about this. Do you start at the hub world, or do you start at the tutorial level where you are inevitably going to die? Because I don't like the whole like forced death thing that I have to do. Well, I have to make it like, oh, player gets to experience it, but then this boss is impossible to beat. That just feels wrong conceptually to me. Bokunon says, I feel like the current pipeline is build a prototype demo for Itch to see if your concept works, has interest, and then make a full game for Steam. That's what's been basically what everybody has been doing, I think. Also, you could do a free demo on Steam as well, I guess. Bokunon says, I think starting mining is a nicer way to instantly hook people. Got it. Where starts in a room with rocks and walls. Mining tutorial. Player gets to click on things, or not click on things. Mine a bunch of materials and first run into unminable hardness object. Okay. I keep forgetting the articles. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me why some of these need articles, but I guess that's what I get for not having English as my first language. Hardness. Okay. And then this is where we go craft introduced. I think crafting table should be behind a mini boss. On death, just start back from the beginning of the mini boss fight. Mini boss can be pretty easy, I think. No hard mechanic. The mini boss just shoots. Yeah, shoots some pattern, and it's mostly running and hitting mechanic. Hey, Practical. Thanks for the raid. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Practical viewers. Good to see you. Thanks. Thanks. I hope your stream has gone swell and wonderfully. Still, I'm guessing you're still working on finalizing your changes from your Celeste-like game memory. Go play. Go follow Practical. I'm sure most of you guys already know Practical. Hello, Redstone. Pigorly. Oh, Mikori says celebratory deep squats. So we're going to do some squats here. I'm going to explain what's going on in our stream. We're doing something fun here, but I have to do squats. Mikori just redeemed it for us. We do 12 squats per 1,000 points. And the idea is we sit on our butts all the time. So let's all get up and do these squats real quick. All of us. I'm sure Practical would love to do squats with me too. I'm going to dream that you are probably doing the squats with us. All right. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, 12 clean squats right there. Everybody getting your blood pumping? I'm going to turn on the AC because it's really hot. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Andrea says, let's get juicy, boys. That's right. My goal is to make every streamer, game dev streamer, and every developer to get juiced up. Because you know why? I'm going to get everybody to do Game Dev Hot Tub Stream with me eventually. Even if I have to pay for it. Follow says thanks for the follow, the AIA. Oh my gosh, thanks for the follow, Denimal on Twitch. Oh my gosh, I gotta catch up though. This shouldn't be this hard. You know, I do lunges and squats all the time for my workout. I'm looking forward to it later. Thanks for the follow, Bucky. NPC Demand Squats. We got them squats in. Hi, Onosa. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, welcome back. Whew, okay. Oh, Automod held your comment, Animal. Fine, got my fat butt up. Apparently that's a unallowed phrase here. Let's see. Wow, more. Andreas has been suspended because... Oh. Gee. It's funny. I don't think it's that crazy. I'm not going to read it out loud, though. Pugorley says, oh, man, everybody got that good squat, getting the blood pumping. Nothing like a lower body muscular health that keeps you healthy forever. You know what I mean? Practical says, WTF. Yeah, you got here. Thanks for the raid. Now do your squats. No, said, fine. Got my fat butt up. Exactly. Bucky says, oh my God, I haven't done squats in way too long. Hey, more the reason you do it. This is what you get. You join my stream, you get your brains worked out, and you get your squats on. We're all going to be getting some dumpies out here. That's the goal. Yeah. Hi, hello, hello-y. Run done. Y'all need to make more readable usernames, I think. Practical rated for the second time. I don't know how that works. What's going on? All right. Thanks for more people. Thanks. Appreciate it. Hey, it's okay. Okay. It's okay with I in between. Kipton says, haha, double the rate. Yeah. I don't get it. Thanks, I guess. I don't know how that works. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm getting the double-backed raid. Nice. Well, you missed 12 squats. So it's okay if you're just joining. It's okay, viewers. Do 12 squats right now while I explain. I'll talk to you while you do squats. I'll guide you through your squats. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing? Well, you guys can explain what you're doing. That's fine. Go follow. It's okay and practical if you're not already. I'm starting yet another project. I have like 4 ongoing projects right now, but I'm doing this one particularly for the video idea I had. I think it would be a cool comparison to do a free asset versus paid asset kind of game. So because I'm curious, I'm always making my own assets and it takes forever. And people were asking before, like, Ezra, what do you think about using pre-made assets? And I was like, I have no idea. I'm kind of curious. And also there are plenty of games out there that uses pre-made assets and are successful anyways, and they upgrade it later. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on making great idea and then just use pre-made assets and see how it compares. And then publish a devlog / experience video, which I think will do well, because in my head I have this thumbnail of like one game, another game, this comparison thing, and be like free, paid, or freed, premium, and then the title says I made my game for free and then paid bunch of money, and this is what happened type of thing. And I think it's a good idea. But anyway, so doing that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a very simple game, not too complicated, some easy to experience, simple vertical slice of a game that people can enjoy, that I don't have to spend more than 2-3 weeks on it. But as you can see, as the game design is developing, it's getting big. The idea is roguelike mining. So inspiration comes from Enter the Gungeon, Hades type of thing. Roguelike dungeon crawler, where you're doing some sort of dodging and mechanic, action filled. But I want it to be about mining. So you have a guy with a pickaxe where you're mining walls, mining resources, and some of the enemies are basically earth elemental based enemies. So it's completely about mining. And some of the ideas that has come out so far is definitely having different materials. And during the run, you can beat bosses to access crafting table in order to upgrade or craft things that you can use within the run to help you with the run. The rogue-like part, the permanent upgrade, is where you can choose to send it at each level, choose to send some of the materials, limited amount of materials, back up the elevator to use for the next run. So idea behind that was like some of the walls are not breakable unless you have stronger X, right? But I didn't want it to be like, oh, now you have Diamond X. Now you permanently have Diamond X for every run. Like, that's kind of boring. I want it to be like the kind of like player experience I was imagining is on first or second run and the first level, you see this like area that's like blocked off by like, I don't know, diamond wall, for example. And you're like, well, I can't break that. So you plan ahead and you're like, okay, I'm going to upgrade my elevator so I can send more stuff up. And I'm going to give up on my run to send my Diamond X up the shaft, and I'm going to try my best to use my skill to beat this boss. But then if I die and I go back up to the hub level, when I go to level 1, now I have a Diamond X I can use instead of whatever, you know. And then the whole choice of like at the hub level, you need to send up the resources back up in order to use that for upgrading and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the premise of the game idea. Some of the cool mechanics that I was thinking about with the group of chats here we're talking about was like mining certain nodes would trigger a hazardous bullet hell type of situation where things collapse and then you're dodging. So I want it to be like still action filled, but like not too fighting enemy focused, because that makes it stand out, I think. So that's where we're at. Daniel says, is it getting hot in here? It's all the squats in it. It's okay says, I'm trying to use some assets now. I've been using assets for years and never used any. So now I've decided to use some. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at right now. It's okay also says, take a look at Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Has many elements of inspiration. I should take a look. But yeah, no, I'm not trying to scope creep too much. I just want to make it as light as possible. So we came up with some materials, and I'm in the vertical slice planning stage where I'm just trying to talk about what the first time player experience look like. So that's it. Okay, so we have this tutorial level. We're going to show immediately, hey, break this rock. You're collecting it. And then you're seeing all these materials show up. And then you run into your first unmineable object. And then the tutorial says, I'll open the gate for you. There's a crafting table behind this door. And you go in, and then the mini boss fight starts. It's going to be fairly easy. And once you beat the mini boss, I think there needs to be boss drops, I guess, agent, binding agent or crafting agent. Need one or more per craft. And then upgrade pickaxe. Break the wall. And then fall into the hub world, which will be the base level. So you went into the mine, you fought some mine, accessed the crafting table, and now you do a permanent fall into a hub world. And that's where the new level starts. I think that's where I'm at. It's okay, says, like the sound of this idea. I'm going to make some food and chill for a bit. Have a great one. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the raid. Camera shake. Camera shake? Yeah, camera shake is probably needed. There's a... I'm not going to plan all of that yet, I think. Maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that I need to worry about just yet. You know what? I'm going to do it just for you. Camera shake. There you go. Okay, so we have the hub world. The first experience in the hub world, we have already learned how to mine. We have already learned a little combat mechanic. And then we have learned a crafting mechanic a little bit, technically. Crafting should be pretty easy. It's just recipe. And I think something I need to definitely add for the dopamine hit, dopamine. Why is it so hard to say dopamine hit? So I've been writing all the things that the roguelike dungeon crawler players enjoy, and it triggers that little ping of dopamine. Dopamine. Yes. Dopamine. Well, not me repeating the same word like 100 times. Okay. Is probably unlocking, revealing recipes. So some recipes are available to view, but some recipes are hidden. I guess blueprint. Blueprint is probably a good idea. We need blueprint. We need to find blueprint through the runs. Okay. Blueprints can be found throughout the runs. Ooh, I love that. Okay. You know what? The mini boss, crafting agent, and the first blueprint, which will be, I think it will be a something critical to the run. Oh, it should be the silver, not silver. What is it? The copper pickaxe. And I think we do need some sort of like passive item, right? We got the mining resources for the main item, but we do need some sort of passive items. Active items break after certain usage. Passive items are run, lasting, passive upgrades, interaction, buff. Yeah. Bucky says, isn't it Mopedine? Mopedine? I don't know. Don't tell me anything about actual medical things. I had no idea. Or biological thing. Okay, Dark Master redeemed emote on screen, Mikuri. This is a manual process, by the way, Dark. So if you want emote on screen, you just need to show us on the chat which emote you want and tell us where you want it or anywhere. And then our mod will put that on there. Okay. I'll be back when you do. Oh, hi, I'm back. Welcome back. All right. Cool. Fall into the hub world. And now there needs to be, I think, hub world has blueprint seller. And then what else? Like, cause it's the same idea where you buy something that affects the run randomness, but not exactly, you know. I'm gonna have simple, like it's a simple experience. It's only gonna add the blueprint seller. But the fact that you can choose to craft exactly what you need reduces the randomness. So we're gonna have to think about if the passive items are drops or craftables. I mean, it can be both, I think. Anyways, so we're going to do blueprint seller, honestly. And then a gate to dungeon. Blueprints seller, gate to dungeon. Resource trader. Material for sell material for coins. What else? Gate to dungeon starts the run. What other permanent upgrades do you think we could have? Kenny from South Park. Oh, you know what? I could also do that too. It seems like Mikori is busy, so I'll do that. Kenny from South Park. 150 is kind of crazy. I don't know where that would be. Here, let me pull up the canvas. It's somewhere in here. I can do this. I learned it the other day. Yep, there it is. Visit site. Don't look at it. My secret. There you go. Do I have to just copy it, I wonder? Here, let me copy this. Copy image. Hear my name. Sorry, in class. It's okay. I'm doing the thing. Don't worry. I'm doing it. There you go. There it is. Aha. 150. Where would that be? Would that be over here? No. 00. About here? There you go. Did it work? Bucky says, enjoy class. Yes. Pay attention. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Dark Max says, yeah, lol. Exactly. High tech. Here, I'll keep it on here. I'll keep it on there for, I don't know, a few minutes. All right. Hub World has Blueprint Seller, Gate to Dungeon, Resource Trader. I don't know if the Forge should be a thing. Forge. What can I do with the Forge? Ooh, you know what would be interesting? So you can send some materials up and you can use Forge. Maybe not Forge, maybe like an alchemical. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, this makes absolutely no sense, but gameplay wise, I think it'll be interesting. For example, if I'm like, okay, well, during the run, you have to mine everything you need. But if you send some stuff up, you can forge multiple materials into something. And that's technically alchemy, not forging something together. Ooh, alloy. Create alloy. Oh, maybe certain materials can only be created with alloy. That could be interesting. Oh, wait, hold on. Osama says, what do you do now? What do you mean? What do I do? Like, with the idea? No, I got to come up with the idea. That's what I need to do. Unless you mean, like, what do I do for work? That's a different question, I guess. If that's the question, I stream and make contents. That's my full-time job right now. Can I make a living off of it? No, I cannot. But it's okay. I'm getting there. I'm trying to make it work. You know, hope is alive. It's not entirely hopeless. I'm doing what I can. But yeah. Okay. GitHub World Blue. Alchemy. Okay, let me think about this. I mean, that gives more reason to send stuff up. But then you want to send stuff up because you want to... Yeah. And if you send stuff up... Yeah, you can only send stuff up once per elevator. I think you do need a elevator for elevator upgrade. Okay, because you can expand the function of the elevator, I think. All right, I think I'm gonna simplify that like that, not too crazy, and then enter the dungeon. Okay, so that's the first time player experience. We can talk about what the dungeon looks like. But before that, I must use the restroom. So I will be back. I'll be right back. I'm back. I washed my hands, I swear. Not that anybody was doubting that, I'm sure. Thanks for the follow, Kung Fu Pernas. I don't know what Pernas is, but I'm guessing it's your name. Okay. I think that's enough Kenny. I'm going to get rid of Kenny from my screen now. Boop. There it is. Okay. Good start. Good start. Hub world. So we've decided something here. We said there's a blueprint seller. Resource trader. I guess. Yeah. Ooh, that should also allow you to buy resources if you want to instead of selling. Elevator. Upgrades. And then gate to dungeon. Cool. Let me see which of these information I need to keep. Base hub, where you can upgrade. Okay, we got that idea. Everyone should feel random and unique while being able to go for a build. This is more like core concept. Combat should feel dynamic, and players should feel like they have a full control over their character's movement. I think this should be more like this. And then maximum satisfaction of going towards a synergetic build. Remembering pattern or run relationship. This is also core play experience summary, because I don't want to lose sight of this. Because that's what makes this game a good game, I think. The whole building synergy, making a build, developing a run, getting faster. So that's going to be it. That means also I need timer. The run needs a timer for sure. We got the dopamine triggers here, which we'll put on the game experience. We have the first time player experience written down. All right. We got the brain dump. I don't think we need the brain dump anymore, but I'm going to keep it just in case. To do for the environmental storytelling. That's not the focus of the game right now. I think it'll be easier to tell this story when we can decide on the actual assets. Mechanics. We got this. Run each level. Player can choose to send up select. Okay, so for this one, we're going to have 4 levels. Dungeon levels, I guess. Dungeon levels. For this vertical slice, we will have 4 levels. Yeah. And we're going to make some maybe I'll make a chart. Should I make a chart? I think I should be... Yeah, I should make a chart. Insert table. Curver says, I've been dealing with harmonic oscillator implementation for 2 days now. Why not use joints? Unless you want to make your own. I guess I know that pain. Harmonic oscillator. You know, I used to be a physics major in college. I was a physics major for like 4 years, I think. And then I dropped physics for computer science because I got a job in the last semester. So technically I should know it, but at the same time I don't. Like, spring force is like spring constant times mass that's attached to it or something like that, right? But no. Spring constant times the distance of compression or extension is the force, and you can apply that to the mass or something like that. Like it's directly proportionate, not square. So it's like negative kx or something like that, right? It's been a while. Fundamental kinematics has been a while. I have the function, but my use case is a bit special, and I'm also trying to learn things. Otherwise, Tween has a bounce thingy too. It's true. Bokonon says, I'm building a car in Unity. Suspension took me quite some time to get the handle on. Interesting. You know, Zuzu, our mod on YouTube, is also a Unity user, and he also does a lot of car constructions in his Unity games all the time, I feel like. Osama says, can you add spirit aspect? What do you mean? Like being possessed by a spirit, or are you talking about like the soul of the rock? Refine the soul of the rock. You know what? That could be fun. I like that. You need to be in sync with the rock in order to access it. Like you're listening to the rock. That could be a funny mining mechanic. I don't know if I want the mini game for the mechanic or mining itself. Oh, you know what? It would be cool if normal rocks, you just bust open everything. And then there are some like special walls, like special ore. When you hit it, the soul of the rock pops out, and then that's what you're combating. Well, someone says, for example, a place we can enter only with spirit level. Ooh, that would be interesting. Oh my gosh, what if you get like sucked in spiritually into the rock, and that's what you're doing? You're searching for the gem within the rock to maximize your yield. That could be fun. Kind of like Hollow Knight Spirit World. Let's see. Denimal says, I am too focused on this and not focused on enough on my work. Haha. Have a great day and have fun with your GDD. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry for being too entertaining. That's my bad. I should be more boring so people can just stick around. Just kidding. Yeah, no, I do like that. That's a pretty good idea. Pretty good idea. All right. Enter the dungeon. We got the level. We got the level 1 base level. Available materials. We can talk about that. Available materials. I guess stone and copper. Or I guess material notes. How about that? Because I need some specifics here. Walls made of stone, copper, I think every level needs to have a crafting table. Boss. Level 1 boss will be I don't know thematically what kind of bosses we should have. I'm going to say there needs to be 2 bosses per level. That can be one or the other. 2, 3, 4. Material notes. We're going to have stone, copper, secrets, or special. Room of I guess each wall needs to have some sort of like hardness measurement. Diamond, or I guess hardness. Room locked behind hardness 6 or 5, right? Iron, maybe iron should be 4. Platinum 6. Mithril should be 8, I think. Room locked behind harness 5. What should that have? It needs to unlock somebody. I think this should unlock detector engineer. Helps player upgrade build detector or scanner. Detector scanner. Though I don't know why this would be like a important mechanic. Like in order for this to be a like newly unlockable thing, this needs to be something like special. I guess each level could have you know what? There could be a secret boss. Secret boss that drops passive artifacts and blueprint when defeated for the first time. I think each level should have a secret boss. And then true boss for true ending on secret levels here. Ooh. Maybe you do need keys. Drop key. Drop key. True boss for true ending requires 2 keys from secret boss. If I can spell that. Thanks for the follow. Seifelzelden. Seifelzelden, maybe? Let's see. Okay, I'm not missing any chests. That's good. Ooh, Osama says you can also add a hidden places. Yeah, exactly. I want to do that for sure. Ooh, maybe just not detector engineer, just engineer. And then I don't know. I guess secret area to mine. Ruby. And then let's see. I don't know what you're going to need that for. I think this should be surrounded by harness 11 ice blocks. Which can only be destroyed by fire-powered pickaxe. This one should be locked behind. I think this should be just locked behind information. Yeah. And then we have to talk about dungeon room generation, I think. Okay, so we have the single room on the first level that is locked behind certain harness. And you get an engineer that gives you a detector/scanner to find a specific things, materials. That should probably end up getting you into this like ruby area. Whatever. Okay. Ice on this side. This one is just hidden by the information. This one is locked behind 2 keys and surrounded by I guess, I don't know. Or not surrounded, but must pass through gas room to get to the true boss's gate. And that means you need like the rebreather and stuff like that, which can be bought as a blueprint from some people, I'm guessing. Okay. There's some combination of interesting level progression that I can see you need to do multiple runs to figure out here. Osama says you can maybe add a friendly creatures that live in the mine that you can interact with then. Yeah. I do think there needs to be some sort of like in-run, like within the run currency. Like the currency that you can't use outside of the run, but within the run. And it's specific to the NPCs that live in the dungeon. Maybe they like to eat salt rocks. And so salt rock is the resource or something. So we can have, so for example, it doesn't matter what it's actually called, but you know, salt or meat rock. I don't know. Salt rock. No harness here. Currency for within dungeon trading. And we can have some NPCs that sell different things within the shop, like the random shops and stuff like that. So you don't have to craft everything. Advices about the boss, enemies, hidden places. I do love that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. This is getting like to be too complete of a game, but we'll see. We'll see. I think we're doing well. This whole 4-level thing is pretty good limit. We're not doing this yet, so that's okay. Dungeon levels, bosses, NPCs. Let's have some NPC information here. Set column, insert column to the left here. NPC. Got stone, copper. We got iron, stone, copper, iron, copper, iron, silver. I think because copper gives 2. And then we got gold and platinum, iron, silver, gold, plat. And then last level will give us mithril. For the gems, we got ruby because of that secret area that only spawns in this area. Ruby only in the single spot. We got opal. Let's say we have opal and sapphire. Sapphire. In a specific vein. And then every level is going to have general spawn of all the other gems, I think. Malachite, saltpeter. Saltpeter. I think saltpeter should only start to show up on the second one. Saltpeter. And third. And fourth here. And this one's obviously going to be gold, plat, and mithril here. Saltpeter, diamond, malachite, opal. Malachite, opal, aquamarine. Opal. We're going to have malachite, opal, aquamarine. Saltpeter, malachite, opal, aquamarine. And maybe a little bit of diamond here. We're going to talk about probability ratio eventually. Diamond starts to show up down here. Let's see. Captain Onosa says, do you feel more motivated after Budokan or overwhelmed? I don't know. I guess I feel more motivated in some sense because you get to see all these other people who has been making games and it's kind of cool. For me, it's a different type of motivation too because I made a lot of content maker friends too, which is, you know, different. I've been doing this alone and solo, and I actually don't know anyone. And only people that I learned was, you know, Hypno and Covino, and by chance. But actually going to con like this and actually being able to talk to these people, I feel kind of like more motivated in that sense. But it's different from game development motivation. That's more like what do you call? More just general doing this motivation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but that's the answer I can give, I think. Someone said you can add enemies that eat the resource when they hit you, the resource falling down, and they eat it. So the enemies with that type will be good challenge. Ooh, resource stealers? Okay, that could be interesting. Yeah. I'm going to have to think about that, as in like which type of enemies show up at what level. All right. We're going to get another column here. Insert column right. Enemies. And let's come up with like some basic enemies here. I think that's important. We got mining, which gives certain materials. I don't need to worry about this. Resource treasure of choice. Use the mined materials to create. Okay, so this, I mean, this is basically resource. The whole choice, I think, is dungeon level. Elevator, which is a single level thing. Players can use the elevator to players can choose to send items, materials via the elevator to access from the hub world. Thanks for the follow, Confused Quirk. Hub world, and which will be accessible. Dungeon level. Each level player can choose to send up a select amount of That's kind of part of the elevator pitch. Elevator pitch. So we have this already written down. Crafting table, finding the crafting table. I think there needs to be a crafting thing. NPC is technically a crafting table. And I think crafting table needs to be hidden behind, not hidden, but like requires a challenge every time you try to access it. Crafting table room. Why wouldn't you search for it? You know what I mean? Like every time you finish a run, I feel like you have to go for a crafting table. There is absolutely no choice not to do it. Is that true? I feel like that is true, isn't it? Because if there is no hazard to choose from, why would I not? I mean, I guess the choice is like, okay, I don't need crafting table because I'm just sending everything up. Okay. Okay. Some NPCs, we have this already. Hidden one is the engineer, whatever his name is or their name is. And then this one over here, I think you can have every level you have chance of meeting mine rat. And then because mine rat gives what? Gives an opportunity to trade the salt rock for some additional resources or heart. Enemies. Should all enemies be ranged? Osama says, when collect much resources, the speed decreases. Yeah, I think we were talking about like having like stamina and speed. We'll see what we do with that. Part of me is like, okay, so that makes sense. That would be the reason why people would want to drop their resources. But if they drop it, these enemies would want to eat the resources. Okay, so we have the basic rock eater, right? On the level 1. And then we're going to have thematically. So basic rock eater, what they do is they hit you, you drop materials, and they try to eat your material. So you want to like kill them ASAP. Pretty easy, I think. And they should exist on every level. Some variations would be, we have basic rock eaters. We have some sort of, we need like basic ranged enemy who, I guess, I don't know. I gotta think about this. So ranged enemy that would try to hurt you from the range. Yeah, simple. But then it wouldn't be like a bullet. But I do like the slow traveling bullet so that you can like dodge it. So I'm going to say probably... Ryland says, did you major in software dev? Yes, I did. Weird Voice says, Tisai, hello Void, welcome back. Glad to see that your commute has ended safely. Zuzu says, could you share the free asset pack you're going to use? Might cook something up as well. Oh, okay. Yeah. I haven't chosen them yet. That's part of the process. I'm going to have to pick them. And see how hard it is to pick free assets. Voice says, finally. Long commute for sure. Rylan, yes, to answer your question more specifically, yes, I have a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. So a degree in Computer Science. Usama says, poison enemy. Poison enemy. I do like that poison enemy. Okay. Okay. I think we need magma enemy here. Enemy and hardness enemy. And then over here we need a frosty enemy for sure. Here maybe we will have the poison enemy as well. Poison gaseous enemy. Gaseous enemy. Gaseous enemy. Over here, maybe we'll have a mini gas emitter to make certain area more hazardous to dance in. Ram Dasher. Frosty enemy will tie you down. I mean, basic Rocketer would be here as well. And then we got the magma and hardness enemy, whatever that means. We'll have to figure that out. Mini gas emitter means it just makes a hazardous zone for a temporary time. That mixed with dodging all the other people would make it really interesting and difficult to manage. We definitely need some sort of ranged enemies, different patterns of ranged enemies in each level, because otherwise it's just running around. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Snooze Clue says, how did you get into game design? I just really liked playing games. And I had one team where I worked for, which was like making games in an unusual environment, so to speak, specifically voice assisted devices, and we made a game on there, and a lot of the game design decision we made, and it was a small team, so I got to be pretty personally involved with a lot of the different aspects other than just programming. So I got really into it, watched a lot of videos, read a lot of things, and I really like the concept of it, and I like the art of it. So that's what we got into. Rotowum says, hi, Ezra. Hi. Zeus says, okay, let me know. I'll share some stuff with you as well in a bit on Discord. Okay, sounds great. I definitely will share it, but I still haven't decided which one I'm going to use to make that happen. Rotowum says, I've been drawing sprites the entire day. My shoulder hurts. Wait, why does your shoulder hurt from drawing sprites? Are you using a lot of shoulders like this? Or do you lean on it? Rylan says, does that mean as far as coding goes, you can make the game as you want it? I think as far as coding goes, I'm practiced enough that if I have an idea, I can generally tell if it's doable or not in concept. And and typically I know how to find the answer to making it, even if I didn't know. Like, it doesn't scare me to do something that I don't know by base. Like, I wouldn't know how to do some 3D stuff, but I know I can eventually get there. So that's kind of what that means. I know a lot of the algorithms, a lot of the common concepts. That's what that means, I think. Rotowem says, it's been hours. Oh, you drew for a while. I see. That makes sense. Okay, so I think we can actually start defining some of these enemies, what they do. We need simple range, rapid fire range, and then frosty enemy, basic rocketer, starting to see hardness enemy, tough, high health, magma enemy, hardness enemy, and then spread range enemies. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Okay, boss, I'm not really sure. I'm not gonna think about boss just yet. Let me design these levels first. Another thing we need to worry about dungeon leveling is room generation, right? Room dungeon generation. So we need dungeon generation logic. I guess that's under dungeon level, which is heading 3. So I'll just make it normal and bold text. Conceptually, I think I want to have basic rooms with minimum TBD. Actually, I don't want to even do basic rooms. I think preset room shape, manually edit. Because that's going to determine what... I don't know if I want to... I mean, preset does help, but if I do preset, that's a lot of manual work. But that's easier to make the game design be better as opposed to relying on randomness with some rules. Where Voice says, I'm really learning a lot. Are you? I have been just writing a bunch of game design. I'm playing this game in my head right now. It's so fun. Zuzu says... Let's see. Osama says tricky enemy. Yeah, tricky enemy. Specifically, I'm not sure exactly. I do need to start defining these enemies soon, but I think right now I can focus on working on basic melee and basic range and see what that does. Let's see. Rotowum says it's been hours. We saw that. Zuzu says, do you have theme or something I should take note of for my own GDD? No specific theme. I just decided to do dungeon crawling roguelike type of situation because roguelike is just easier to enjoy in the smallest implementation, right? Because like they have a lot of like replayability. It's innately about learning the game, so it can be difficult and be acceptable. Where Voice says, most of the time I just pick a mechanic and brute force the levels until the moving through the levels feels good. Yeah, I mean, technically that's what I'm doing, right? It's just I'm skipping the step where I'm implementing it first. I'm like playing these games in my head, so to speak, on the paper. So it's helping me just kind of shape it out more. Okay. All right. Where were we? But yeah, no, I mean, this helps a lot, I think. Okay, so we want to do some preset room shapes that we're going to create that gets added to each other. We need entrance of rooms connecting corridors, logic. And then define secret rooms, right? Or like specific rooms for a level. And I think that's it. So we want to be able to create some room shapes. Even actually, like I might even do like very specific room and the enemies instead of like randomizing the enemies. I can preset the room. Is that going to be too much work? I think it'll be okay. And I think each level will have thematically different colors or shapes to make it work. Oh, geez. Did I miss a notification? Thanks for the sub on YouTube, Fabio. I'm almost at 10,000, by the way, on YouTube. And I know I already said maybe we'll do a game jam, YouTube game jam, when I hit 10,000 subs. But I think, oh, wow. Oh, we're really close, huh? I think it would be fun to also do, I bought a kiddie pool just for fun. And we have a rooftop on this apartment. And it'll be weird if I do, hopefully nobody will see it. It'll be fun to do a little kiddie pool stream. A little celebration. But we'll see. Anyways, okay. Preset biomes, exactly. I think we're going for biomes of like normal mine, gassy mine, frosty mine. I don't know what that means. And then magma mine. Okay. You know what? This is enough, I think. This is enough GDD. Don't you think so? We got some good stuff going on. We're going to look at some assets here now. Do I need to start making collections? How do I create a collection? My library. I feel like there's something like that, right? Dashboard? No. Maybe it is dashboard. Look at my $2.90 profit from my asset. So good. I don't know how to do collections though. You know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna. Weird Voice says nice. Mimi mine, Fruit Superman says. It's all memes. All the way down. Turtle memes all the way down. Okay. I don't know how to collect them. I don't even know how to start. This is crazy. Do I just type mine? Mine. And then to pixel art. There we go. Boom. All right. Let's see. We are looking for free. That's what we're looking for here. We're going to try to stay unpopular so we don't accidentally get assets that are stolen. This looks cute. I like this. But this only has one top-down stuff. Okay, top-down. Hopefully I find something that has everything. I mean, this visually is kind of interesting. It might fit the theme. I don't see any rock. That's the problem. You know what? Let's take a look. Maybe I can make a combination of things. There's the enemies. I mean, it looks cool. But not quite. It's definitely a dungeon, but not mineable things. I need more nature. Hey, JD. Jesus, I'm never going to give you up. Oh, that's good to hear. JD sang that song as the first thing in our karaoke when we did the GotoCon karaoke. JD just went up there, straight up rickrolled us. We are, just in case you're wondering, JD, we're yet another project that has been started. This is the free asset versus paid asset thing. And we're making a roguelike dungeon crawler about mining. Okay, so we're looking for mines. There has to be better technique. But what I'm afraid of is like if I type something, like search, that I will lose seeing some of the good assets without that tag. So only tag I care about is definitely pixel art and top down. So we got top down and pixel art. And I'm going to just scroll through. I already set up for free. And here's hoping that something will come up. It's a lot. Kind of. There's no rock here. Rogue Fantasy Catacomb. Not the Catacomb. I need like cave. I think cave is what I'm looking for, aren't I? Oh, this is a good character pack, I think. Bobinsky says, why are you pretending to be a game dev by having a fake screen show in the background? Huh? Oh, this. Is that what we're talking about? Voice says, heard you are good at Rickrolling. Yeah, exactly. There's really decent pixel art pack on Humble Bundle. Look and see if Elv Games has any free assets. Okay. I'll take another one. Yeah, I'm not a game dev. I'm pretending to be game dev. I only run through different projects. I'm a project maker, not a game dev. Zeus says, if you want some old school stuff, search for Stone Soup. Also look for Danzy on Open Game Art. Open Game Art? Open Game Art. Never heard of this. Okay. Some interesting resources. We got Open Game Art. I'm guessing this is like free assets. Look for Denzi. Denzi? Okay. This is good to know. Open Game Art. Oh, yeah. Pretty good retro looking things. Unfortunately, I need to very specifically look for the rock type things. Wait, can I search assets? Like, can I search within the category? Will this work if I searched here? You can filter by license here. I usually filter by CC. Oh, not that. Whoops. Filter by, where's the filter here? No, this is sort. This shows how often I use this. Oh, over here. Okay. We got style pixel art. We got the top down. Creative Common. Is that what that is? Hold on. Just give me a sec. I'm going to mute myself. I definitely have not been paying attention to the time. Wow. Time has gone by quickly. You know what? I'm just going to do this here one at a time. I know Kenny has some free assets, says Zuzu. JD says, that was for open game art, not itch. Keep up, slacker. Yeah, exactly. You can filter by license here. How? Is it the tag? Zuzu says the minimal roguelike or something was huge help for my game. Okay. Oh, you mean here. Where's license? Ah. What does each license mean? Magic. Okay, so we got this. Definitely just need 2D art, not concept art, not music, no document. None of this. This is hard. Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed by all the things that are available. Like, I need to come up with some ways to get better at this. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of assets, but like stylistically, this is like impossible to use. Can I do pixel art somehow? Is that a tag? Pixel. Pixel art. Yay, it is a tag. Okay. I'm looking for tile map. Or tile set? Should it be tile set? Olive. Only one. Tile. Huh. This is bad. This is really hard. I'll learn my ways. See, this is my first time actually delving or diving into the world of using assets, and I am struggling already. JD says, anything with by means attribution needed. Search in the search box and not the tags. Oh, okay. So I can be like pixel art tile set. Okay, that's not bad. Wait, did it work? Mine. That's platformer. Not terrible though. I'm getting too specific, I think. Dungeon, cave. Top down. I want top down. How about top down? Top down. Yeah, something. We're getting somewhere. Zeus says the minimum roguelike. I don't want to get too specific. It doesn't really show exactly what they have. I have to say, as someone who has like a very specific creative direction in mind, looking for asset is painful. What I want to know is that if I can search for it here, if I can just be like tile set cave. Okay. I can do game assets. And then how do I filter from here? Do I have to view all tags like this? No. How do I filter further down? Is this just it? Search Elf game on itch. Okay, I'll do that. Elf games. All right, I searched it. And then I can be like, hello, Elf game. Which one of these are free? I mean, I might be able to come here for like paid bundle. That'll work really nicely. I gotta be like, which one is free? Can I search Elf Game by its itch doesn't have filter I need. Why can I not filter the result here? JD's like trying to help here with links and everything. Links not allowed. I'm sorry. Susan's like, check the members Discord. Everybody's like really trying to help out here. All right, let's see. We got Zuzu. Oh, okay. We got some Kenny assets. Or roguelike minimal assets. Okay. We're working here. Okay, so this is Kenny branded assets. This is something I could use, I think. JD's like, no. Hey, this is pretty cool. This might work. There's a breakable block. There's some stuff. Too bad they don't like seem like distinguishable, I suppose. But this can be really helpful. Yeah, I can see it. Maybe I can use something on top of this. That plus pixel. Roguelike. Oh. Free Kenny assets. Tiny battle. Tiny sky. 1-bit pack. Tiny dungeon. Oh, tiny dungeon maybe? How do you guys do this? Okay. It's clear the challenge is going to be finding different pieces of free assets that I'm going to feel satisfied when I mix them together. Oh, thanks for the raid, Dragon Spirit. Welcome. I suppose I should follow you for future rating. Dev Guy says, whoo, dance. Welcome Raiders. Dragon says, hey there, Ezra and chat. Hope you're doing amazing. We're doing okay. As amazing as we can. We have just finished our little game design doc for our new project that we're starting. We are currently working on my video. My video is going to be comparing building a game with free asset versus paid asset and see how that turned out. And we had this like roguelike mining dungeon crawler game idea, which is interesting. So we just finished the GDD, the game design doc, and we're hopping on to finding the assets. And challenge is immediately clear. It is overwhelming. I need to take note of this. Let's see. I have a script somewhere. See, this is my YouTube videos script. I already have a pretend script, just kind of the general direction. Don't look at it. Actual experience notes. GDD was fun to imagine without worrying about assets. Overwhelmed by all the available options and immediately worried about using multiple assets together and looking bad, especially for highly stylized assets like pixel art. Not sure how I'm going to search or narrow down. All right. Yeah. No, it's crazy right now. JD has his own emojis as the face. Now I can actually see the face now that I've seen you in real life. Or voice says, I won't stares intently. Yeah. We're not looking at it. Isaac quickly. my script. No, keep it down. No pause here. Okay, so I'm looking for just generally something I can use for like the caves. I mean, this is a good vibe. It's just that it has a actual wall. I'm looking for something that's more cave-like, right? Oh, this is so nice. Gentle forest. Okay. Ooh, isometric dungeon crawler. Okay. Let's see what's in here. You know what? I'm going to start opening them up and see what they got. I mean, this is really nice. I would use this. Is just, I feel like this is more, I mean, I can immediately see how paid asset will be easier just because they're well-known sellers that I can just go for. And they typically have bundles. But free assets, yeah, it's something. I'm looking through Summer Forest, something top down. Oh, this. Oh, whoa. Okay, I think this is usable. This is miney. Wait, that's different from the preview. What happened to the preview? Why does it look different? Did I hover over something else? Oh, there it is. Hanakaraka, Dungeon and Mining. Perfect. And maybe I can recolor these. Like, that's not breaking the rule if I recolor, right? Okay. How do I... Is this actually free? Yeah, it is free. How do I save this? Add to collection. New collection. Asset off challenge. It's going to be my private collection. Add to a collection. All right. I'm going to start adding collections as I see them. And then later, if I see... Later, when I look at them all together, see which ones I can use together. Okay. Hi, Chris. Zeus says, could you please send me some inspiration so I could actually help with finding some? Zuzu also says, a lot of people also make extension on the Kenny art packs. Yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is that. I mean, so far, I found this, like this one. I think this one is workable, Zuzu. Here, fine. I'll give you the link. This is my starting point. But what I need, it doesn't matter what this style is, honestly, for me. It just needs to be top down and it's a mine. Because, right, I just need 4 different type of biome that is a cave, that is not a dungeon, where I can mine off of. And I guess it might be too much to expect. Oh, shoot, I just closed it. It might be too much to expect to not make any edits. I feel like I'm already seeing that I have to probably make some edits. And I'm hoping that that's still better than making my own assets. Oh, this is not bad either. This is pretty cool. But I need like magma field, right? I need the frosty dungeon and I need the... And I don't know if I'm just going to recolor it. Ooh. We got straight up Minecraft isometric blocks. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but this would do it because technically this has all the different, like it's built around being a mineable block. So I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that because that could be useful. If I don't find anything else, you know, I'll add this to a collection. Okay. All right. Here we are. Thanks for the follow, Dragon Spirit. Is it okay for me to share a YouTube link here? Oh, you can. Here. Can you do it with the... What's your YouTube username? I can make the link for you and post it because links aren't allowed in general. Just give me the username of your thing and then I can type it out for you and then share it. Okay, so that's one. Let's see. This is pretty cool. Ooh, I like those golems. The ancient ruin. I think that could be... Oh my god, this is so cool looking. You know what? Okay, these enemies are pretty dope. And it's free. Are you kidding me? This is actually free? That's impressive. Okay, this is getting added to the collection. My hope is that I don't have to change the game direction just because of the asset availability. But it might have to happen. Yeah, that one was really good, right? Thanks for the follow, Dream. Dragon says, Dragon Spirit movie production, but this movie is still not officially released. Oh, I see. Oh, shoot. I should probably find it on YouTube. You know what? Because you rated us. This one, right? Here it is. Hopefully all... I haven't checked it. So if you guys find something in there that's like, I hate you, Ezra, for sharing this, don't blame me, okay? Let's see. Oh, this one is actually really good. I can't believe... Oh, free demo. Free demo. We'll see. We'll see about that one then. Minimal dungeon. This is kind of workable, potentially. 6.16. Spring Forest. Slimes. Okay. Nature Pack. Cellar Dungeon. I don't like this at all. Car. Sci-fi assets. That's pretty cool. This looks nice, but I don't think I can use that. I wonder if I can be like dungeon mine asset and go for game assets, view tags, not all tags. How do I drill down on the search? Like, is this the only thing I can do? These are all, it costs money. Free. Okay. These are definitely not free. Maybe I should get rid of dungeon. Maybe mine. Mine top down mine asset free. Desert. Definitely not free. Yeah, this is like so hard to do. It's not very friendly. The UI kind of sucks. I prefer what I was doing earlier, which was just scrolling down through different resources. Dragon says, I whispered you the video directly. Oh, there's a video that you want to share specifically? Is that what you're saying? 8-minute video? Oh, it's a movie. I hear it. Okay. You know what? Why not? I'll share it. Here it is. Go check out Dragon Spirit's video. I do say, though, if you want it to go viral, you want to make sure you share it only to a potential audience, because if YouTube sees that people are visiting it and they don't stay to watch it, then it might tank it. So if that's what you want to do, you got to be careful with that one as someone who does YouTube. No, that was just not the idea when I wanted to see it. Oh, I see. Okay. The movie I made called Coning in the Hawk, or King in the Corner in English. Oh, I see. Interesting. Bokunon says, did you check out Kenny? He's the goat of free prototype assets. Yeah, no, I checked it out. Has very like wide range of things. I need a very specific thing. I need the mine, which is cave, which is less structured but more pickable. So it's getting hard. I mean, I might be making it difficult for my own self. Should I only do asset packs royalty free? I don't know what that means. Like, I'm not even paying attention to the licensing, I guess. But yeah. Struggling here. Okay, I think this is going to be... Oh! We got the Miner and Fisher. This could be useful. I'm going to add to a collection. All right. Well, this is what it's going to be. I'm going to have to do this for a while. And I'm going to have to decide if doing this, like this fishing for asset, is easier and faster than drawing my own assets? So that's the question we're going to be answering in our video. And I feel like I'm starting to see my answer already, but we'll see. We'll see. Because at the least, if I do find the right one, that perfect one, it might end up looking really nice. Like there are a lot of impressive assets out here that I'm like, oh, wow, I could do a lot with it. I may have to opt in for using a whole set of assets instead of just a collection of assets, like picking it here and there. Mini tile set. This is kind of nice. Definitely a small one. But we'll see. We'll see. We're getting there. We're getting there. Treasure chest. Did you back the Kenny plush? No, I haven't. I've never actually used Kenny stuff, so I'm not really familiar with Kenny stuff. I backed the Godot one. They're here. Someone says, you close to the 10K. Now 9.9. I know. I'm almost there. I don't know what I'm going to do to celebrate. I mean, I know I already said I'm going to do a game jam for it, but, you know. Game Board Game says, good day, folks. Oh, neat. Actually had no idea Itch had assets, though. Thought it was just games. Yeah, they have assets. It's pretty cool. I also released an asset there. So we're gonna try our best to find what we need. We're approaching 3 hours and 15 minutes here of streaming, which is actually a lot for me. So we're gonna try to look for raid. Luckily, we got raided from Practical earlier. We got some that crossed too. So we're gonna send you to someone who's entertaining. Let's see. Let's look for our raid friends here. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bokonon says pixel scaling could become problem with multiple sets. Yeah, for sure. Mikori says, no, keep going, lol. You're on a roll. Unfortunately, guys, I have to get going. Unfortunately, that I have my own limits. Hey, what happened to... Wasn't Adam up earlier? Did Adam come back? Only 9 minutes. Covino. Oh, Covino's having a good time. I know Covino does 6 hours, so at least Covino has 2 more hours of stream left. You know what? We'll go Covino. Let's go Covino. I know you guys enjoy Covino. So we'll start right here. Hey, Mikori, when I finally do... Okay, I'll do subathon. How about that? On 10K subs on YouTube, I'll do a subathon, which means... I think it means people can do stuff to make me stay on stream longer or something like that. That will be worth the thing, I guess. Because otherwise, I'm like... The longest stream I've done, I think, is like 5 hours. I have no patience for this. Dragon says, I see your Bob Ross there, though, and raise you my own made Bob Ross. Oh, you have your own Bob Ross. Nice. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you guys have a good time. Say hi to Covino for me. Give him the updates. I'm going to have to run immediately, so unfortunately can't say much. But yes, I'm looking forward to doing this. Mikori says, what about 24-hour stream for 10K? Yeah, 24 hours plus. I don't know. Sure, let's do that. Zeus says, I already pay enough. Stop trying to extort me. Exactly. No, fine. I'll do a 24-hour stream. Oh my gosh. I'll do a 24-hour stream. When someone says, see you next time. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Game Board Game says, Ado, bad timing on my part. Just joined. Haha. Hey, what happened? Why did it cancel? Okay, here we go. All right. I'll do a subathon. No, not subathon. I'll do whatever. All right, bye.
Mankind. It is called.
All right, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna end here real quick.